Hey, friends. Hey, it is 2 months away until this residency, my program that I've been in for almost 2 years, is over, which is crazy. And my plan is at the end of this 2 months is to send you guys an update that has a fuller picture of how I believe the Lord has grown me over the last 2 years. But for now, I really just want to give you all a quick update on what the future is. So since residency is over in 2 months, that means I have to have something to do in the next 2 months. So I wanted to update you guys on what that looks like. So most of y'all knew about Dubai, and give you a quick update. In April, I was planning to go to Dubai to discern whether or not God wanted Young Life College to go to Dubai, to set up shop in Dubai to reach kids from Iraq, Iran, Pakistan, Afghanistan. That was the goal. That was the vision, was to go there and figure it out. Well, your boy Ryan did some dangerous praying, and I was like, Lord, hey, if you don't want me there, close the door. Like, I don't want to go somewhere you don't want me to go. I was like, but God, I don't really know how you'll do that, because if you don't, like, you could cancel my flight, but I would find another flight. So I don't know how you would close the door, but please do it if you don't want me to go. And little did I know, I was praying coronavirus down on planet Earth. So my bad. I should be more careful about what I'm praying for, but coronavirus did the trick. I did not go. The flight was fully canceled. I could not fly over there. So the Lord kept me from going, and I was sad, but it really was a kindness. While I was in town, I still did research. I still talked to pastors in Dubai. I still talked to people who are doing ministry, especially college ministry in Dubai. And it turns out it really does not make too much sense for Young Life to go there, as best I can tell. So going there myself may not have been too fruitful, although God could have done something crazy. He could have done a miracle. And of course, there are things that I could not see from America that I could only see if I went. Best we can discern, God has a lot of people reaching college kids in Dubai, and he may not need Young Life there. But that's okay, because there's other countries where kids from our target demographic, Iraq, Iran, Pakistan, Afghanistan, all go. So I had more options. So I started checking out other countries, started checking out Qatar, Kuwait, Lebanon, those three countries, and the UAE as a whole. And every single time I looked into a country, it just seemed like God shut the door pretty hard. Some of the countries more than others, but the first one I looked into after the UAE was Qatar, or Qatar, as it's actually pronounced. And it turns out there is no chance that Qatar is the place we go. It has a really good university presence. Problem, Qatar is currently not in the best relationships with its surrounding countries, and its surrounding countries just across the river is Iraq, Iran, Pakistan, Afghanistan. So all the students that were from those countries essentially left Qatar to go somewhere else because Qatar wasn't too happy with them. And so there's just no people from those countries there. But that's okay, because I looked into Lebanon. In Lebanon, I talked to a pastor there, and he had this fantastic quote. It was, if you want to reach the world, go to Dubai. If you want to reach the Middle East, come to Lebanon. And maybe there's truth in that. I just couldn't find it. It didn't seem like there were any students, at least in universities, that were from our target demographic. There were a bunch of Muslim students, but they're all Lebanese. And that's not really our purpose, although we want to reach them. It just means that Lebanon may not be the right place to reach the kids from those other countries. So after Lebanon, we looked into Kuwait. So I looked into Kuwait, and it just turns out that Kuwait, although it was really promising at first, is not the place neither. Kuwait is a really great place. This is going to make me sound really dumb, but this is the conclusion we found. Kuwait's a really good place to reach Kuwaitis. Outside of that, it's not really a good country to reach anyone else. The reason being is Kuwait is probably ripe for revival, but it doesn't contain any of the students from our target demographic. Most of the Kuwaiti education system, their colleges are not that good. So no parent really wants to send their kid out of country to a college that's not very good. They'd rather send their kids to America or Europe or Dubai, for that matter. So it really did seem like all doors kind of led back to Dubai being the location where the strategy could work. It just may not be the right time because of how much is happening already in Dubai. There may just not be room for Young Life. There's one more country I could look into. Egypt is possible. Cairo is possible. Just not likely. I haven't done a ton of research there yet. However, where things are now, since my residency is ending in 2 months, and we still don't even have a exploratory trip planned, it just seemed pretty clear that I needed to find something else to do. It just seemed really, really clear. God was not really opening any doors anywhere. Every single country I looked into, it became very clear very quickly that that was not the Lord's plan, so far as I could tell for the moment. So I decided to start pursuing other opportunities, and I talked to Hunter Lambeth, who is in charge of Young Life Middle East. I told him, like, hey, I've done some research. I've explained the research to you guys. I think for me it makes sense to start pursuing other opportunities. And we talked for a while. He thanked me for all the research I've done. He was very kind and gracious towards me. He said that there's a hiring freeze right now. Makes sense. Not a shocker. So I just don't see an avenue outside of a miracle to where I get a job in Young Life International University Ministry that I can see. God can do miracles, and I'm hopeful He does. But until He does, I'm going to trust that He's leading me a different direction. So for the last month or so, I have been applying to jobs. The jobs I have been going after, I was unsure for a while. I went through probably a week of just sadness after I firmly committed to doing something else. It was pretty hard, and I was much sadder than I thought it would be. So after a week of mourning that, being bummed out, I sought the face of the Lord, and I asked and begged for clarity. He didn't give me the clarity I wanted. Honestly, I wanted a vision. That's what I was praying for. Didn't give one to me. However, He did give me some clarity on at least the type of opportunity I'm looking for. And here it is. Here's kind of what I'm looking for. Number one, I want to work for somebody, be under the supervision of someone who has a more intimate relationship with God than I do. I really, really desire to imitate someone's faith. And I want to be able to work for somebody that I respect and who loves Jesus, who I can learn from, not just skills, but I want to learn from somebody who knows God, who can help me know God better. That's a big priority for me. Number two, I want to be in a culture of people, a type of culture that focuses on different aspects of God than I normally do. I love America and I love Texas, but we tend, at least in the circles I've run in, to focus on the same aspects of the Lord. And I believe participating in different cultures can make your view of God more well-rounded. So I want to be around people that have a different view, not less accurate, but a different focus and leaning towards certain aspects of God that I don't. I want a fuller picture of the Lord. I want to know Him better. And I believe being in a different culture would help me do that. Number three, I prefer Young Life College. If it's up to me, that's the route I'd like to take. I hang out with college kids all the time. I love adults, but honestly, adults, we're pretty lame. When all said and done, we're pretty lame. As you age, it just seems like people get lamer. And I love hanging around young people. They're just silly enough to where they can laugh at themselves, just naive enough to where they believe they can do big things and have big dreams, and they're pumped to change the world. And God tends to use college kids. And I tend to hang out with college kids, and they tend to like me. I don't know why, but most of my friends, in fact, my closest friend, Arvind, who I've told you all about, still in college. And he's one of my closest friends. So I just tend to hang out with that bunch. So I love to stick with Young Life College. So those are kind of the things that I'm really focused in on, kind of those three things. Number four, here's a fourth one, is although I know I'm open to God's grace in giving me a less than ideal job, my hope is not necessarily the less ideal being a different location than Austin. I'm open to relocation. However, it's the opportunity that makes a job ideal for me. I care more about the opportunity than the location. I need a good vision to hold on to. I need the right vision, and it needs to be big. Firm belief. God's a big God who does big things all the time. And if it's up to me, I would like to participate in those things. If he's saying, ask me, then that's what I'm asking for. Lord, I know you're doing big stuff. I would like to do that big stuff. Will you let me in on that? Typically, God does big things where there are big visions. The thing that attracted me to Dubai was not necessarily going to the desert to start Young Life, where there was no Young Life. It was that the target was to reach kids from Iraq, Iran, Pakistan, Afghanistan. We're reaching to Dubai to reach four of the hardest reached countries currently in the world. Pumps me up. I'm in on that. I give my life to that. So I would need a big vision, and I prefer something that I can give the next 3 to 5 years to. I'm really not looking for a one-year job. I know with this season, it may not be okay, but so I'm willing to do another 1 or 2 year gig until the Lord presents me with something a bit more ideal. But if I can ask, I am asking that he lets me do something that is ideal, that has a big vision that I can give the next 3 to 5 years of my life to. Final thing is, number 5, I would like to start something from scratch. I'm open to working with an existing ministry. I just don't like putting a ton of energy into changing a culture. I would much rather start the culture from scratch. It's just easier than changing an entire culture. That takes years to do that. And I don't even know if I'm that gifted to change a culture, but I'm much better at starting one. So if it is up to me, I would like to start something from scratch. That's what pumps me up. So those are kind of my 5 things. I'm looking for a job right now. I've applied to some Young Life college jobs. I've applied for a college job in California, in Denver, and in New York. So that's kind of been where my focus is. I'm open to different parachurch ministries. I feel likely that I'll be in a parachurch because I care about evangelism and I want to put all my energies into reaching the lost. Hard to do that in church leadership. So I have a feeling I'll be going that route. So if y'all hear of anything, please let me know. If y'all know of anybody who's looking for a college director, I'm open to the conversation. No matter where it may be, that's kind of where I'm moving. So please let me know. Keep your ears open, your eyes and ears open for any job like that. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm also pray for this one, I'm having a conversation with a guy who's in charge of all Young Life University International on Monday. So I'm going to ask him, like, hey, do you know of anything open that I could apply for? Make it nothing, won't hurt. Love prayer for that. Speaking of prayer, even if you don't know of any jobs, what I'd love more than anything is your prayer. I am confident right now that the Lord has to make something happen, and he typically honors prayer. I'm praying. Will you pray too? I am willing to do a job that I really don't want to do. I understand it's a grace that I may get to do something I'm passionate about. Most people don't. And I will be humble and accept what the Lord has for me. But I would like to do something I'm passionate about. So please pray for that. Please pray that the Lord lets me do something that really pumps me up, that I can really dig into for the next 3 to 5 years. So that's the big update, y'all. One final little aspect is about fundraising. So since my residency is ending in July 31st is my official last date. After that, the 2-year commitment of you guys will have been honored, and your donations will, as far as I understand, automatically stop. There will be no one to donate to after July 31st, unless, of course, I get a Young Life college job. then I'll be fundraising again. But however, for as far as me fundraising through Reliant, that will come to an end. I am so thankful that you guys have continued to support me, especially during coronavirus. A lot of people are having financial struggles. I know it's impacted you guys as much as it's impacted me. And I'm thankful that I haven't had to worry about funding dropping off. Y'all have stayed consistent. All of you have stayed consistent. No one has dropped off. And so thank you so much for being so kind and sticking with me. I just want to let you guys know again, after July 31st, your 2-year commitment will be honored and it will no longer charge your account for givings to me. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. Y'all are awesome. I will have another update instead of the beginning of the video. I'll have another update at the end of my residency to give y'all a more well-rounded picture of how I believe the Lord changed me. My supervisor and I had a chat yesterday, 2 days ago, about the residency, and we both agree it was a huge win. The Lord has grown me like crazy over the last 2 years, and I love Jesus more now than I used to when I got here, and I'm a better leader, way more prepared for whatever task God has for me. I'm beyond thankful. God has raised the bar for me on what excellence looks like, what ministry looks like, what loving Jesus looks like, what applying the Bible to your life looks like, all that stuff. Everything, bar is here. Y'all can't see it, but it's high up here. Bars are way up there. And I'm thankful for y'all for making this happen. I'll give you a more thorough update of what exactly I mean by that. But I just wanted to say thank you guys. I'll send you guys another update a couple months from now. But love y'all, of course. If y'all have anything, if you need prayer for anything, let me know. I'll pray for you. Love y'all. Bye-bye.